What's good YouTube, and welcome to the house. A couple of you guys noticed I took a few days off. I wanted to get my head on straight and really figure out my priorities in life and remotivate myself. You only get one body, you better take care of it. It's the best investment you can make. And I also wanted to know where I'm heading in life. The short answer is I really do want to live as long as I possibly can and see as many Godzilla movies as I can with my wife, but there's a lot more intricacies to making that happen and making sure you're set up financially for that, as well as, you know, getting healthy to live that life. That being said, questions you guys have been putting off about yourself and avoiding being brought right here. I can't tell you how to live your life, seriously. Let's get into today's Market Watch, starting with Prank Kids and their buyouts. Prank Kids place up towards $14. This definitely is not the normal market price. That's due to sales. As earlier today, we can actually see on eBay, $3 to $5 copies going off the shelf after all the more expensive copies also leaving. Yes, directly today. So this has been happening. This is a budget investment that I told you guys to make, as it has an upward potential, but where were the new cards going to come from? Turns out a core set with a Link 1 enabler that also has a good effect. Imagine being a 13-year-old and telling, Mommy, I need to update my Prank Kids deck with Prank Kids Meow Meow. Meow Meow. Anyways, this is a Link 1 Earth Rock Link effect. Monster attack 1000. Link goes to the bottom, so it's actually favorable. And it's any level 4 or lower Prank Kids monster. You can only summon Meow Meow once per turn. You can only use this card's effect once per turn. If a Prank Kids monster you control would tribute itself to activate its effect during the opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. So that's actually really great depending on what you're summoning and what you're doing. But it does wait until the opponent's turn to do this, so it's most likely stuff like your bosses. That being said, your enablers like Do Doodle Do have also got more expensive, and people are starting to pick at the rest of the deck. Super Roxy's out of the special edition, still very cheap as well, but I would think you'd want to go for stuff like the Instant Fusionable, Prank Kids Rocket Ride first, and just the other pieces. I would get everything that's cheap that you personally want if you're interested in this deck sooner than later, because once Phantom Rage is rolling back around over here in the TCG, this is an announcement originally, you'll see stuff kind of go down, and then, oh, it's here, I better go ahead and get that. I missed it on the initial buyout. And yeah, you're going to want this card as well as others. Now, this is the price it was at towards where it won a YCS. Is this deck at YCS winning levels? Maybe it won it while it was still rogue before. I don't think this solves all of its problems, but a Link 1 is still pretty cool for the deck. That being said, we have Stay Classy rewaving their toy vendor in the unlimited, so not numbered version, and you can get this over there with code WhatsGood5 to get yourself 5% off. This is by far the most demanded back-in-stock field center we've seen. I thought it would be fun, since I took a couple days off, to let you guys see the process and do a live reaction to several sets. I actually haven't looked and booted up tabs. I spent time with my wife on our days off, and like I said, was planning a lot of things. So back here, let's start with Eternity Code, Secret Slayers, Ignition Assault, and Legendary Duel Season 1. Some of the newest sets is Toon Chaos, not on this drag down. Let's also grab Toon Chaos, and then we'll go through some of the collector sets as well, like I enjoy doing. So this is kind of the process of opening everything up and doing a market watch, except we're doing it live. So Blackluster Soldier still around 400. I see Stardust Dragon dipping a little. I'm sure if we click on some things, prices may vary. Chaos Space has been going down steadily. I think this is a great one to grab, but again, we have the question of when will events open back up for max rarity to matter? We do have Rise of the Duelists on the horizon, which could boost Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, but we also have the unlimited run of this set. I think first edition collector rares will set themselves aside, but the gap will depend on how wanted that card actually is. Hot of Extravagance dipping under 200 as well. Everything's down a little bit, it seems. This falling back from 100 to 92. Toon Chaos, the Chaos Creator, imagine this as a Toon, at 120. I feel like this is higher than I remember it. And then we see Toon Bookmark still pretty cheap, Toon Flip Page cheap, and Chaos Deadliest falling back down to being one of the cheapest. The rest of the set is pretty darn affordable. I know a lot of people have been saying get your in for Noble Knight Renown, myself included, but I think when the unlimited wave of this gets here, people will rip it open like crazy, so the lower part of this set will continue to get cheaper, and physical events shutting back down, even locals having trouble opening in certain areas now. I know certain cities going back to gatherings of 10 or more people are getting stopped, and in dining places getting stopped also. So having locals versus these prices, you could see a little bit of a simmer, or we could see a secondary boom depending on the checks that arrive. You know, everything's up in the air. There was that huge first boom from those, so the market, again, a little unpredictable where money will go. Millennium Eyes Restrict atop the set. Who called that one? To be fair, it was a pretty easy call early on, and over time something can overtake it, since people will only be grabbing one Millennium Eyes Restrict while they're going to be grabbing triple of other things. Ancient Gear Fusion barely falling. It looks like these prices are pretty stable, so if you want to use that TCG player, link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you would already be buying, hey, maybe go ahead and do so. It looks like things are pretty darn even versus what they are. Wow, these starting to bump on people after the character tokens. They did a very great job on these character cards, and unlike Dude, some of them rising to the top here. Maybe some are harder to get than others. Very interesting to see that overtake the set. Not surprising to see Joey up towards the top of them also. Pegasus, a very nice one. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see these among the top cards. Maybe they'll be more penny stonkish than the Dude ones, since those were so prevalent, being 2 in every product, and then that being so mass opened and still on shelves today, whereas this might run out from being, you know, packed open. What a development there. I guess one of the only sets, you know, core sets we have so far that's not going to be opened in this year by Megatons, etc. Probably next March to next Battles of Legends / Megatons, we'll start to see cards from it. Who knows, maybe Gold Series. Somebody was saying Gold Lightning Storm. That would be pretty incredible. Whitebeard looking actually pretty cheap for what it is, and Gizmek Kaku, the more I like him more and more as I realize you can use your own Link monster to help you summon him, but he still has his inherent problems. But man, is he a good level 9 as well. And the rest of the set just cheap. I think those Ancient Warriors are decent penny stonks, because we're finally going to get around to the cards that initially spiked Ancient Warriors, so I would not be sleeping on those fully, but it's not like they're taking over the meta or anything either. It's a decent rogue deck. The Secret Slayers, looks like Researcher back under 50 for now, okay, and the Golden Lord is hanging around 124, so he keeps floating between 110 to 130, he's sitting more towards his top. And I wanted to point something out. People in streams have been asking me, hey, Secret Slayers, I've seen it back over here or here, should I go ahead and buy pack, should I open? There are 4 total cards that beat the price of an MSRP pack here. 4 cards. That's not a very good spread, and, you know, 3 of them are being shorted. I don't think it's necessarily what you want to be going after, but I'm, again, not going to tell you how to live your life other than financially. Buy the freaking singles. Next up, we have ourselves Eternity Code, and Starlight's still relatively affordable. The Water Charmer has gone up and spiked with the Charmer structure deck being announced for the TCG. That did happen. And the rest of them kind of settling. Last time I think we peaked, Almaris was towards 220, or 200 flat, and now we see it towards 220. Access Code Talker edging up towards 70, and wow, Gearsu under 30. It's happened. Moonlit Chill 20. Is this real life? Okay, so it seems like a lot of things. There's some expensive shipping. So 26 and then quickly 30. There's some definitely different things whenever you click tabs to double check, but we're speed running. The Dragon Maid under 12 feels good, man. And the waifu tax can't help you when it comes to a core set, but we have not seen our unlimited printing of Eternity Code, or if/where we would even be getting that. So do be aware that quantities of Eternity Code, while it was ripped open heavily at first, those ultra rares and super rares, there's some great penny stonks within here, like a Shatos and Crocodragon, but I can only push those so many times. Now let's do what I like to call a little bit of a collector speedrun that I typically do off screen. You just fire off every single link here, and you get to surprise yourself a little. Like, I have genuinely had some of the most shocked reactions without a camera on when it comes to doing this. So all the Turbo and all the Astral are together. I realize there are other sets of course. But I'm just going to go through these 16. I feel like that's enough to give you a feel of how this goes. And y'all enjoyed this the last time I did it. So first off, there goes Ultimate Trishula. Okay, that's the first surprise. $270 freaking dollars. MST up for its ulti as well. And nobody cares about Dino Rabbit format, huh? I bet this is actually up. So, yep. Yep. All of it up. Up. There it goes. Man, the market is wild and crazy. Market price $7, but listings as low as $280 on Rampengu after the craziness that was the ban list. And sure enough, already chilled back out in price. People said, give me my money. There's so many interesting things when it actually comes to these sets, though, when you pull them open. What a surprise, chasing after the DT price, huh? That's very, very interesting. People finally went for that one in a big way. Let's look through here. One of the most undervalued ultimate rares. One that continuously goes down and then gets bought back up. And one for past formats that I'd want to have sooner than later. All at decent prices here. Tour guide. That could go to 3 one day and we could see another spike. Big eye for Dragon Ruler format. And it's kind of surprising to see this going back down over time. Traptrix got so much hype, but I guess it hasn't really panned out for them. Pot of Duality sitting ever up despite True Dracos having left us in the metagame. Cowboy evening it out back down. And Yamato also evened out back down. Not the most copies though. Maxi, forever crazy. Necro Valley, back up from a lower market price. That continues to happen. Every time I feel like it hits around 50, somebody goes and gets it. And Dandelion, one of the best ban card investments. I can only imagine if we got Dandy back like Noodle Fuber's gone, like what it's actually gonna do in price, but maybe it's forever gone due to link summoning. Tenki, listings as low as 60. Really, you dipping back down despite like the timing? No, it's more so towards 70. Okay, 6'9", someone congratulate this man, nice. And the rest of this set, this has always been one of the cheapest despite it actually having a time and play in history. And Marksman has been slowly rising with that tide. Dragoons towards 130. Spellbook of Power, I feel like this continues to be underestimated. And again, one of the cheapest ones that had a piece of history. All the Mermaid Landing stuff has been stonks and rolling buyouts. Tsukiyomi, GOAT format's one of their favorite bays. Photon Thrasher is up here, okay. This is what I'd seen dip that back down to 20 at one point. I was like, that's very weird for a somewhat generic level 4 that can throw itself up on the field. Up towards 40 here since the last time I looked at it. And the Breeze Dragon. I keep saying pieces of history because that's what a lot of what gets chosen. And this gets easier. Now we're only at 1 ultimate rare and a couple ultra rares. JD had a buyout, I think, on its secret rare again recently. Lightsworn Chaos is a really funny and fun deck, and I think people are overeating on that. But I enjoyed the deck too. I thought I'd be like, dude, a mill deck in 2020, no way. And then someone made me try it. And then I was like, yo, that was pretty freaking good. It's like that Thanos meme. It was really fun. Next up, we got Foolish Burial. It's really been questioned. You know, we're going to have the Lost Art promotion. We're going to have other versions. But it seems like the super rare getting another buyout here behind the actual listing price scene. Wow, that really went. People love Chaos Sorcerer for GOAT format, and this is one of those packs I feel like that it had really bad foil wear on Chaos Sorcerer out of the pack. And then Ulti Heraklinos. That's a great card. Seems to have even back out over time. Maybe it's your time to go ahead and get that card. Caius the Shadow Monarch's been getting tons of buyouts. Like, I'll watch it go back down a little, and then it goes up. So he continues to get his rolling buyout. Rescue Cat, oh, always cute. And turbo sets are just fun. They're like Deep Sea Diva. Oh, did it get the big chill from another super rare being put out? Not really, but it seems like there's a lot more listings, because last time we looked there were 3 listings, so competition's starting, and we'll see if there's actually any sales rates with a new super rare out here. Colossal Fighter actually going up. If you're an ultimate rare, it looks like your stonks out of the side turbo packs, astral packs, etc. Really does. Snowman Eater would be a funny collection card to have a bunch of, but it looks like there's not much listings left. Dark Arm Dragon, ultimate rare. This one was really racing the first edition secret forever, and then it just started to go up continuously, and it looks like it's going to keep doing that trend. The $220 copy that was foreign is gone. Now we have a $240, and there's $250, and then $300. The collector's market is so insane with how it's struggling. Now, Catastor got made fun of by everybody, but Ultimate Rare Catastor is still a really cool card, and way above that market price. It looks like somebody went through here and did a ton of them. I hope that my data doesn't show they used my TCG player link, but hey, I hope you did. And then finally, Thunder King Ryo. I like that how they have a foil shift for their actual example picture, because that was so common. He's been up on the up as well. So this is pretty much how I just kind of look through. I kind of see what's been happening. Okay, this changed. I'll pull it aside for Market Watch. This hasn't, but I think it's good. And I'll end up taking bits and pieces whenever if I want to touch the collector's market. It's just kind of how I approach things when it comes to these cards. But lately, you gotta click on it all. I know, it's like the Jetsons, where they complain about clicking buttons being hard work. You gotta click on a ton, as I showed, to double check. It's not actually, oh my gosh, it's at this price! YouTuber face. It's realistically actually digging through than thinking about sales rates if it had a recent buyout and what's happening. So do keep up with the market and don't end up overpaying. Of course, use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Let me know if you enjoyed kind of this more live walkthrough of seeing what was going on with all of these sets. I, again, hadn't looked for a couple days, so I found it personally interesting myself, but let's see how you guys enjoy it, or do you enjoy more of that cooked up, ready conversation content rather than being a reaction channel? I think there's actually pluses to both, but I'll keep this one on the rarer side and continue the regular market watches in the future.